What's up, guys? It is Richard Harris with Barber-Dyson Ford out of Woodward, Oklahoma. I am with the new Woodward County Sheriff, Keith Frutiger. What's up, man?
What's up?
Hey, this is Let's Take a Ride. Come check us out for this new episode. Let's go.
Let's go.
Dude, these things are so sweet.
Yeah, man, I don't even make enough money to ride in the passenger seat, dude.
Dude, so I want one of these, but I can't. This is like 90 grand.
I know, I was looking at the sticker. Holy smokes. But no, it's really generous, man. 20 grand for you guys. I mean, 20 of these for us. That's great.
Yeah, I think that would be sweet of Barber-Dyson Ford to do that for y'all.
Yeah.
Hey, is it illegal to spit gum on a sidewalk like I just did? I mean,
no, in your own private parking lot, no.
All right, cool. So that was legal.
Yeah, it was legal.
Keith, are you hot?
A little bit.
I'm a little bit too. Let me, how do you turn the thing? Right here. There it is.
Yeah.
Where's that auto stop at?
Oh, no.
It should be it.
Oh, here it is right here.
Yes, thank you.
It's the worst thing ever put in a vehicle.
I know, I hate it. But I love new Ford Broncos, Keith.
Man, this is nice.
This is a 2025 Bronco Raptor.
Four-wheel drive.
Super four-wheel drive.
Super four-wheel drive.
I think we could be going 70 down one of the county roads and just start hopping off some curbs and cliffs.
But we might have trouble on a highway, right?
Yeah, I don't think.
Our highways have a reputation of being not the best.
Yes, and our poor ODOT workers, those guys are great, and they catch such a hard time. So Keith, question for you, man.
Yep.
How long have you been part of the Woodward County Sheriff's Department now?
So I've actually been in office now for a little over 2 months.
Okay.
A little over 2 months.
And what's this? How long is this term? There's going to be an election next year. Is that correct?
Yeah. So in the spring there will be a special election that I'm going to run for, and then that will finish out the current sheriff's term. Sheriffs are a 4-year term, and okay. Sheriff Mitchell served for part of his. So if I win the special election in the spring, then it'll take me through the 2028 election cycle.
Okay, so the special election is just to finish out his term.
Yeah, that's right. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Understood. So far, what's your thoughts of being the Woodward County Sheriff? Well,
so far I can tell you, man, I've got great people. I really enjoy the people that I have working for me, and there's a lot of responsibility when you're running a jail that has, on average around 85 or 90 inmates.
Oh.
And you're responsible for their care and well-being, and then you have 14 or 15 deputies that are out patrolling and doing the enforcement work. There's just a lot going on, and we have budget issues with we have contracts to feed, for example, in the jail, to feed 90 inmates,
right,
and to provide healthcare for 90 inmates, and actually our jail can hold 140. So, we have to be able to plan financially for that if we got that many.
Sure. So there's a lot more to that, to the jail side, than I think what a lot of people think, myself included.
I've been in law enforcement for 32 plus years, and there's more to it than I even knew.
So Keith, if you don't mind, talk a little bit about, tell us about your background with law enforcement.
Yeah, so I started early. When I was 18, I went to work for the Oklahoma State University Police Department. I was a college student up there, and
okay.
I went up. I knew I wanted to be in law enforcement. I asked them if they had any jobs for 18-year-olds, and they had cadet what they call cadet officer, which was parking enforcement. And little did I know that that's one of the most dangerous jobs in America.
Really?
Right? Yeah, because nobody likes getting their parking ticket, and frat guys are always threatening to beat you up. And
that's
so that was kind of an early like indicator of kind of what law enforcement may be like. And so I worked there for 3 years. When I turned 21, I went to work for the Edmond Police Department, and I worked there for 7 years. And Edmond was great, man. I loved that job. But I really wanted to be an investigator. And so I ended up applying for the FBI. And for some reason, they hired me. I don't know why. But I spent 22 years working for the Bureau. And it took me all over the country, from Miami to Washington, D.C. to Arkansas to Oklahoma. And that was really really fun times. And I retired from the Bureau in December of 2022. So that kind of puts me around 32 years of law enforcement.
So quite a resume.
I mean, yeah, I did a lot of really neat stuff in a lot of different places.
Now, this is the first time in a sheriff's office, though.
This is the first time I've worked state law enforcement, municipal, and federal, but I've never worked county.
So it still sounds like you're heavily qualified for the work that you're doing. And to be honest with you, when you retired from the FBI, I've known you for several years now, but when you retired from the FBI, I was really shocked because you're not an old guy. And but obviously you had a lot of time served. But when you retired, I'm like, well, what's this guy gonna do? Yeah. And then when the rumor came about that you were gonna that you were gonna potentially be the sheriff, I was like, well, that's pretty fitting. And what I like too, Keith, and to toot your horn just a little bit, I was actually having this conversation about you yesterday. I like what you're doing with the social media side of the sheriff's department. Because people need to understand that we have a great sheriff's department, and you try to be transparent. You're doing things. You want people to know, hey, I'm thankful for our deputies. I'm thankful for these people. I see you're trying to encourage that, and it sounds like you're hiring too, correct?
Yeah, I am hiring. In fact, I have two openings right now for full-time deputies. And then I have 4 or 5 openings now for jailers.
Okay.
So detention officers and deputies both, we have spots. So I'm really looking for a fit, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I have a vision for where I want the sheriff's department to go, and we're headed in that direction. And so I'm looking for guys and gals that have top-notch character, and that really, really want to serve.
Right.
There's more money in other professions. So the people that get into law enforcement, they do it, I think, because the ones that are really successful do it because they really have a heart to serve.
Sure.
And so
that's
the kind of person that I'm looking for.
You're definitely not doing it for the money.
No, it's not for the money.
Hey, I don't want, it's cool. You don't do traffic at all, do you? Because I just kind of rolled that.
I wasn't going to say anything, but I'm texting into one of my deputies right now.
I'm probably going to get hey, send that bill to Barber-Dyson Ford of Woodward.
Yeah,
if you don't mind. Yeah. Dude, what about this old Raptor Bronco? This thing,
man. This may be the nicest vehicle I've ever ridden in my life.
It's definitely one of the nicest I've ever driven. They did tell me, they asked me if I would be interested in doing this, and they mentioned you. I was like, absolutely, that'd be fun. They're like, what do you want to drive? And I was like, that Raptor Bronco.
Yeah. Man, I'm glad you didn't put us in a little sedan.
Dude, I could have been like, hey, we want a Mustang Mach-E.
Well, that might have been fun.
They're actually a neat little car.
Yeah.
I could have got us in one of our used vehicles, like a small Toyota.
Yeah.
Or a little Chevy Aveo or something.
Yeah.
So anyway, Keith, back to the sheriff's department.
Yeah.
You talked about, needing deputies and jailers. What exactly what's a jailer? What's their what's that look like?
Man, so obviously, we have a certain number of jailers that have to be on every shift, and that's like a statutory requirement, right? There's a minimum number of people that we have to have. And so they monitor the inmates 24/7. They pass out food trays. They take them to and from their court hearings. They take them to and from medical appointments.
So the jailers are your day to day.
Man, they're just
Okay.
they're all over the place, and they're really a core part of our team because if we had deputies doing the stuff they're doing, then we don't have anybody out on the streets answering calls for service. Right. So when somebody calls 911, we don't have anybody out there. So these jailers are really they're doing a great service for the sheriff's office.
So what's a typical day in the life of Keith Frutiger now that you're sheriff?
So because I'm really new at the sheriff position, man, there's a learning curve, right? And I'm trying to figure things out, especially, you may know that I had a CPA. And so I'm a really financial guy. I'm a data-driven guy. So I like making decisions based on the most data that I can get my hands on. And so...
Well, I didn't know that you were a CPA.
Oh, really? Yeah.
So I'll try to talk to you about my taxes.
So I'm really nerdy. And
yeah.
So I like making decisions based on that kind of data. And so what I've been doing right now is just looking not only at historical financial data for the jail and for the sheriff's office, like how much do we spend? What do we spend it on? Is this something that's really a good use of our money, or is there a better way to do it? Right. And so, and that kind of helps me make the decisions that I'm in now. So really, I'm just trying to figure out the finances, where the money goes, how it comes in, and then I can use that to make decisions on what we want to do with it.
That's kind of cool that you have the ability. I mean, obviously that's not a requirement for your position, but it's cool that you have that ability, that background that allows you. That's one more kind of feather in your hat for
I noticed too, just over the course of my career, like dealing with federal prosecutors and local prosecutors and stuff, I worked a lot of fraud cases, and a lot of people, really, really smart people, attorneys, are very intimidated by financial stuff. Like a lot of people just don't understand financial matters, and it confuses them, and they see spreadsheets and they just get a blank stare. And so I think that is an advantage that I have, actually, is just being able to look at that kind of information without my eyes glossing over,
So have you found that within our sheriff's department that you like the direction that you're headed so far, that it's headed?
Yes, I've made two really good, I think, deputy hires. So we have two new deputies that's been on less than a month, and they both seem to be doing really, really well. And they're in our field training program right now, and so I just like the direction. One of the things that I challenge my people on is improving 1% every day. 1% improvement, mind, body, spirit, emotions. Like, what are you doing every single day to become a better version of you? Right? Sometimes it's just, it's just like putting down the phone and actually picking up a book and reading something that you'll learn from, Sometimes it's man, you got problems in your marriage, you got problems, whatever. Sometimes it means going and getting help for that, and getting it right. If your headspace is right when you come to work, you're going to do a better job.
Well, one thing I like, you and I talked a little bit at the gym at one point in time before you took the office, and one thing about you is you genuinely care about people. You love talking to people, you love counseling, and so it just kind of fell right into the perfect role for you to be able to build your employees up. We all know that law enforcement jobs are tough on the people that are in law enforcement, tough on their families, and the pay's not great. Like you said, it's a duty. You're going because you are called to do that, and you feel led to do that. So, to anything that you can do, in my opinion, to encourage your employees and build them up, That's phenomenal.
Man, I don't think I could get paid any better of a compliment than for one of my deputies. Now, I would hate for any of my deputies to leave, right?
Sure.
But inevitably they will.
Yeah.
Especially young ones, they'll want to go do something more. They'll want to go work for the OSBI, or they'll want to go work for the FBI or something like that. But man, I could get no better compliment, I think, than if one of my deputies left and went somewhere else, and have that agency call me later and say, man, you sent us a good one.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like that's what I want for them.
It's very unfortunate when you lose someone, but when you've set that person up for success in their next venture. I had a boss tell me one time, he said that if I've done my job right, I've trained my employees up to that if I was to ever leave, you really shouldn't know that I left. Mm-hmm. And I really liked that, because it was kind of inspiring in a sense that we each had our task, and he pushed you to do your own task. And if he trained you right, the next person to take his position should have been well trained for that job. So yeah, I wholeheartedly agree.
And I think there's a leadership aspect to that too, right? It's train your replacement.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you can't do everything on your own, and you're going to hold your employees back if you're not teaching them your job.
Yes.
So like, show them what you do. Teach them.
Yeah, it's a mindset that I think some people want to retain the information, so you're the person they have to come to. But the more you teach people, honestly, it makes your job easier.
Yeah.
You want to go on a vacation with your family, you feel like you've left everything in good hands.
Man, I've got people qualified and capable and competent to handle any problems that come up, because believe me, almost a daily basis, there's fires to put out.
Right. I was actually thinking about that. What percent of your job do you feel like is putting out fires?
Man, a huge percent. Like I was telling somebody the other day, I was talking, and I have a to-do list every day of things that, like, kind of my top priorities that I want to get done for that day. And there's days when I go in, I don't get not a single one of them done.
You're not checking any of those
No,
boxes.
because something in the jail broke and it has to be fixed. And a washing machine went down, and now they can't do their laundry, and they won't have fresh orange suits, or a vegetable steamer went down in the jail, and now they can't steam the vegetables for, you know what I mean? Those are things that has to be fixed. And
I just wouldn't have felt like a vegetable steamer would be in your vocabulary for the sheriff's department.
Well, I never would have either. But that's one of the realities that I face now, is that we hire a company to provide food and commissary for the inmates, but they use the equipment that's in our kitchen in our jail, and so if that goes down, then I have to fix it or replace it.
So, do you think that, like, what was your onboarding process like?
Well, it was a unique situation, because are you talking about like getting appointed?
Well, just as far as like when you started at the sheriff's department, I remember you were talking about you had hundreds of pages of.
Oh, so the previous sheriff was very gracious, and he spent about 2 weeks with me, and he kind of showed me in very, very general terms kind of the day-to-day things, and I took as many notes as I could take, and then I landed in his chair, and then that's when it became real.
That's one of those.
Like, because I had been drinking from a fire hydrant, like there was just so much, and it's really kind of you just got to get in there and do it,
Well, I'm excited to see what you do with the Woodward County Sheriff's Department.
Yeah, I'm excited too. I think we're headed in a good direction, and I want to keep that momentum going.
Keith, I think we ended up talking about a lot more than I don't think I hit any of my talking points other than what we had talked about.
That's okay, because really all I want to talk about was this sweet ride.
Dude, this thing is awesome. I want to buy my wife one, and not one of these, not a Raptor, but I want to buy my wife one, and I was like, I'm really itching to drive this one to see if a regular Bronco even makes me feel good about my decision. And there's no way it will after driving.
So my first house, I bought was in Edmond when I was a police officer there. It was 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,700 square feet, fenced yard. It's a nice starter house. It's 58.5.
Yeah, you couldn't buy a Bronco Raptor for that.
You don't think?
I don't think so. Maybe a used one.
Maybe
like a
14 years old.
Yeah, they didn't even make it 14 years ago, but that'd be about the time that you could have afforded one.
Man, yeah. So I think it'd be hard. This is 1-bedroom.
This
Raptor,
yes.
right? It's a 1-bedroom, no bath Raptor.